What's the relationship attitude we should have as we move to Washington, D.C. on August 26th?
First thing comes to mind for me that we bring love. We become love. We exude love. We spread love with our energy with each other. And so we can create a movement with our love and support. I love how we understanding. I love how we getting on the same page. I love loving ourselves, our self-esteem, so we don't have to ask permission for finances, for freedom, for legal protection. We're actually so empowered that we actually can do it on our own. We need to come from it. Even if the evidence doesn't show up immediately that way, we're coming from love. Love, the most powerful thing in the universe.
Well, Reverend Sharpton mentioned about the struggle, and there's a constant struggle. We take 2 steps forward, and then we take 2 steps backwards, and that's the struggle that we have to go through to be an activist. So those are one of the things that he said that rang true for me today. It is a struggle, but how can we keep loving and showing love when they don't love us back?
I get it. So I know about the struggle. That's how come I can talk about love. That struggle long enough for me to be able to be loving consistently and ongoingly. And I'm not necessarily. We could be loving with ourselves and treat them lovingly, but also treat them straight. Be straight when dealing with the people we got to deal with. Hold them accountable. Have them follow the laws that they created, or create new laws. But as far as us together on the trip, is there around a space, a room where all there is love, and how can they give us a hard time at least on that Saturday? And so that's what I'm thinking about. But in terms of like us as a group together to be able to be equal with them, we need to be as smart as they are, and we still need to love ourselves, have equal high self-esteem, so that their self-esteem or their ego doesn't damage us. They can't damage us.
Well, yeah, that definitely falls in the lines of the mission statement of the National Action Network and the whole King philosophy. But King was changing as he moved on against the war in Vietnam, and the whole "I Have a Dream" speech was his beginnings, and everybody keeps bringing that up. But near the end of his career and his life, he sang a different tune, and because we needed to have economic empowerment, we need to have our own. He was leaning more towards the Garveyistic way of black pride, race first, and that's why they killed him. So how can we come together, because there's going to be different organizations there on the 26th of August, and there's going to be people from all different groups and nationalities, and coming together in the whole King mantra of loving everybody and sitting at the table of brotherhood. But nobody wants to sit at our table of brotherhood, and that's an issue for me. Any questions? So how you deal with that? And then I'm going to open it up to our panel discussion here as we here at Nan Arts and Culture prepare for our trip to Washington, D.C. Even though we don't have a show today, we have a podcast broadcast right here at the House of Justice, and where justice begins and ends right here. So, Tony, what's your take on it? Then I'll open it up to our guests.
So, my take on this is that just because somebody doesn't understand us or agree with us doesn't mean that we have to be anything other than our most powerful, most self-esteem, standing self, grounded in our personal reality, and go for it. Yes, we need to make sure that we're managing our economy, our economics, our finances, because if we don't handle that, they got control of us. As soon as we start rebelling and we start, protesting financially, all of a sudden they start listening to us on it. But in the meantime, when you know yourself 100%, nobody can mess with you. They may be able to kill you, but before then, they can't mess with you. And so I say that we got to come from that. What will work best for us in doing that is us coming from a whole personal, individual power. Not egotistical power, but that we're connected to God, we're connected to Spirit, we're connected to love, and that we're here to make that happen, not just for us, but for past generations and future generations, so we can demonstrate what that looks like. That's what I see. Love can't be stopped. There's not too much love. It's not possible to have too much love.
Okay, now we got a counterpoint here, and I'm going to swing it right to the Queen right here. And Queen got something to say about all this. Okay, so introduce yourself and let us know who you are and what you're about. And so it's a different philosophy from the Martin Luther King mantra. We're coming from the whole Garvey perspective and the pan-nationalist perspective.
Malcolm X perspective, I guess I'm more that era as opposed to Marcus Garvey, because he's doing it in the But the point was, first that we must do for ourselves. If we must do for ourselves, govern ourselves. In other words, if we're under an oppressive system, constitution, then we're oppressed and we are still slaves because we're still mentally enslaved to do the work of the enemy that does the work against us. And I don't know how else to break that down except that we are not on our own because we're not governing ourselves. Marcus Garvey said, where is our flag? So he gave us one. They gave us black and white. He said, where is our government? So we have a president, Michael Douglas, president of the Union. We have the things in our hands, but we're not using the things in our hands. We have reparations in our hands, and we're not using it. We're doing over trillions and trillions of dollars of consuming other people's markets, and we have our own markets, but we are consuming other people's markets. But when we start to put our resources together, let's say National Action Network, Marcus Garvey, UNIA, December 12th movement, but just talk about the local organizing, fighting, protesting organization in the city. If we came together once a year, we could just work together to break bread and sit down and talk about how this Black United Front, that we have the power. They don't have the power. We got the power. They have told us that we don't have the power. But we have the power. We are the ones who are financing them. When you go in the neighborhood, they have these big, nice houses. But where do they get the money? They come into the hood and they get the money. The money goes out the hood. Only 1% stays in our community. And they take 99% out and they take it elsewhere. So when we begin to come together and look at these issues and things and how that we can counter them, we counter that. Reverend Shaka came to our rescue for the 125th Street Fitness fighting against Giuliani, and we won. And we won. Why did we win? Because we stuck together. It wasn't many of us, but it was enough of us to say we ain't going nowhere. And those who went to 16th Street, we never went anywhere. Those vendors were able to stay on the street. I call it grassroots economics. Continue to feed their families. And they're from Africa, they're from the Caribbean, they're from down south, up south. But we all working together like that. But we haven't peaked it because he got us thinking that success is paying $20,000 and $50,000 a month to him. So all the tricks we know to get money, we tricking for him because we paying him, and now we ain't got nothing left for ourselves. All we're doing is just front and say we got this great big business, but the man is getting the money, and we're not progressing. And our children don't have any respect for us because everything they need, they got to go to someone else to get it. They need a job, they got to go somewhere. They need to go to the doctor, they got to go somewhere else. Whatever they need to eat, they got to go somewhere else. So Marcus Garvey talk about self-reliance, doing for self. So did Booker T. Washington. That's why they murdered him before him and Marcus Garvey could get together. They made sure he was good again. But Booker T. Washington said, we don't need the people doing it. People scared to be separated. We don't need to be afraid to be separated. And then we can be amongst you and still be separated. In other words, we can control the economy in our community. Therefore, we're able to control our destiny. If you can't control your destiny, what do you control? Because God teaches us in one God, one aim, one destiny. But the Honorable Cosby Cook says to us that if we don't agree on our different gods, I may call it Allah, the Rastas call it Jah, Jehovah Witness call it Jehovah, and praise the Lord, we call it the Lord, the God. But the Honorable Cosby Cook said, one cause. So not to take your God out of it. You have your God. But one cause. We have a cause that we must fight for justice and righteousness and equality like everyone else. They said we are citizens of this country. We're not. We don't enjoy any of the citizenship. You're Ukrainian coming here and get hotel rooms up in hotels and beds and everything. And our brothers and sisters who's been here for all their lives are laying on the sidewalk in shelters for many, many years, never having a part. way to stay.
So what you're saying is basically self-love is what it's about, and race first, self-love. So I'm going to open it up to the floor now, so everyone can talk about it. Because basically, what Tony is saying is about bringing love to the thing. But I think how I interpret it is that bringing love for myself to the March on Watch, the commemoration, bringing love to myself, and that's what it's about, bringing love for yourself. So dealing with self-love. Any comments about self-love, and how can you bring love to yourself on the trip? And that way, if you bring love to yourself, guess what? You exude love to other people. So first of all, it's about self-love. Someone wants to talk about? Anybody wants to say anything about that?
So what I want to ask him, he was saying love yourself. Love yourself, and that's where it starts from. Yeah, that's make a lot of sense. Love yourself.
And so that's what we're going to bring to the March on Washington, or the commemoration, or the continuation, as Reverend Sharpton says. Anybody else got anything to say other than our spokespeople? Yes.
I think when you're talking about love, we should see ourselves as a tree of life. And as we see ourselves as a tree of life, we should see ourselves as a good tree. And as they say in love, remember that a good tree brings forth good fruits. And when we think of good fruits, we can think of the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, meekness, and self-control.
All right. So listen, she should have her own class too. Anybody about self-love? What about you, Anthony, Nance? You got some algorithms and all the stuff that you talk about. Blow it up for us.
I believe that everyone here is right in their own right, and that it must start first of all in the home of yourself. You must love yourself. But also, before you even go there, you must give thanks to the gracious Maker by whatever name you want to call him. And also know that everything is for us to become a oneness of the great Maker that we are one of. So to try and dilute things by separation, we all need to come together, just as the mother just spoke. So we come together from diverse sets of people and diverse factions of people, and bring together under one banner the things that we want to achieve, so that they can be achieved, and not just speaking of it, but doing actions as we're going in the continuation march, to bring forth the fact that we are doing action as we network together. And we want to spread this abroad so that it reaches everyone. And once everyone gets it, then we'll be like the Who's in Whoville. The baby came, and now the elephant knows that we're here.
And on that note, we'll say to be continued in the continuation of our discussion here with the Nan Arts and Culture, Nan Performing Activists Theater of the Incarcerated, which is now happening here, providing professional work for our Nan Performing Activists. This is Arnold Penix, a.k.a. A. Gregory Harris, and I am the Director of Arts and Culture. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. You'll hear me next time.
Identify yourself as a
Okay, yes.